When printing, we want to make sure that we have our inking plate, we have our brayer, we have some scratch paper that we'll use to put underneath, so we'll have a protection on the table, maybe some big paper, and we will have scrap paper to put our plate on when we're inking. We have a baren, that's what we use to transfer, to rub. We'll have a spatula. Sometimes we use printmaking ink that's in a tube. This time we are using a spatula, and we will get out a tiny amount, like toothpaste size amount, that we will spread out on here. You'll add just a little bit more. And you will use the brayer to roll out your ink on the inking plate, going back and forth, trying to get the ink to even out for an even smooth application on the brayer. You do not have to roll it all over the place. You need to keep it on your inking plate. Then with your styrofoam design on top of scrap piece of paper, I have mine folded. I suggest that we do that so that we can also flip it and use the other side. But I'm going to transfer my ink onto my linoleum, and it will try to wiggle around because it's going to try to stick to your brayer because of all the ink that's on it. But you want to make sure that you've got enough ink on it that it will make a nice print. If you don't have enough, it will look like a ghost print. And if you have too much, it's going to get inside of your lines. So after I've done that, I'm putting my brayer down. Here is our tricky part. We have our paper that we've finished. We're going to have to move to another place, a clean area. So I'll just slide all this over so you guys can see this. Pretend that I've gotten up and I've moved over to my clean area. I am carefully carrying my inked plate over to my safe place. Then I need to look on the opposite side of my ink plate. If you hold it like this, you need to see where the arrow is. Our arrow always needs to face toward the center. I'm starting my design on the top left quadrant, and I'm going to line up as best as I can. I'm holding my plate up against where I can see my pencil lines to be for the center of the paper. And this is going to be kind of tricky. If you align it to the right side first, and then kind of tilt it to where it's along the vertical and the horizontal lines, and then press that with your hand just enough that you can flip this over, and you'll feel where this is, and you're going to use the baren to slide this around and get your print to show up on the opposite side. I don't want to use the baren on the same side that has my linoleum, my styrofoam, because that will press away my negative space. So rubbing and transferring, flip your paper over, and then you can try to peel back your styrofoam and see what your print looks like. Then we're going to do the same thing. Bringing up again, you may have to apply more ink onto your plate. If you start rolling it out and it's not getting dark enough, you may have to add some more ink. Doing it a second time, rolling it out. Try not to smash into your areas where you have pressed away the negative space. This is where it gets tricky. Remember, your arrow has to face inside. So I flip this over and really stop and pay attention. Where is my arrow? I have to make sure that it's always facing into the center. And I'm trying to line this up as best as I can with steady hands, trying to make sure that the horizontal and the vertical lines are lined up and that they're connected against each other. Press that down, flip it over, use your baren to press against the back, because that's getting your ink onto the back side of the paper. Peel it back. There's my second print. if your hands get dirty, you can stop and wash them. You can also get a wet wipe. But now I'm on print number 3. Same thing. Paying attention to where the arrow is. The arrow always goes on the inside. Lining that up. Patting it down. Flip it over, rub it. The thing you want to be careful about whenever you are rubbing with the Baron on the back side is you don't want to press too hard on these other 3 sides, because that ink is still wet and it is going to transfer onto the paper underneath and take away some of this ink. So be careful that you're not pressing too hard with that. And there you go. There's a design. If you get a little bit of it overlapping or off, it's completely okay. This will still look really nice. Unfortunately, we can't go back in and redo any ink on any of these. So whatever you get's what you get. If it doesn't turn out the way that you like, you're welcome to do another little side print of something and we can try to build that up. But this is our end goal.